Hello, welcome to this video, and in this one I'm going to be going over all of the Florasis products that I've been lucky enough to try. I say lucky because they did send these over and I was very excited about it because I had seen pictures of these products like on the internet and I thought they were so pretty, but I'm usually pretty slow to try out a new brand that like sits outside of Sephora or needs to be shipped internationally, just because I don't know, there's a lot of makeup on the market and like it takes me a while to get really excited about something. But I was very curious because this brand is obviously very opulent, known for these beautifully intricate packagings and product printing, and I just wasn't super sure if the formulas were actually good or not. This video is very much not sponsored, which you'll be able to tell because I have only like a small subset of items that I've tried here that I think are really worth buying from this brand in particular. And while a lot of the things are pretty and I can kind of see where the money is warranted because the packaging is really done up here, y'all, I can kind of understand the pricing on a lot of this because really ultimately like the pricing isn't crazy on this brand. I was looking over the price of like each item and we'll get into this further, and I think it's very comparable to like say an expensive brand from Sephora. There are a few things that are like kind of over the top, but the packaging like clearly shows why this has been marked up the way it is. Okay, so first off I have this Ginseng Care lip balm, and just look at how like nicely it's packaged. It comes with this like pretty gold spatula that's made out of metal, and then the actual component is this cute little jar. This feels like surprisingly lightweight considering a lot of lip balms come in glass jars. It's kind of annoying to open because you just have to pinch this, but like it's just a balm. This one barely has any scent, and I think that pretty much all of these have no scent. It's got a little bit of a tingle feeling, it's moisturizing, it's nothing crazy. It's $15, which is also not a crazy price. I just don't think it's like anything too worth it. So my Florasis breakdown of whether or not it's worth it falls into two pretty distinct categories, where one is like the product itself performs above expectations, performs better than other makeup that I have, and that makes it very worth it if you're someone who loves makeup. And then the other category is like there's some items that are like kind of a silly price, but they're also like a silly amount of ornateness, so they would make for a really good gift, and this falls into that category of like $15 is kind of ridiculous if you just need something to moisturize your lips, but if you don't really know what to get someone, this just like feels really fancy, and it's only $15 for like a pretty nice and luxe feeling gift. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the lip balm. Moving on to the foundation. So the one that I have is the Bouncing Fitting Liquid Foundation in the shade N30. And I think that this is the darkest shade. The packaging, look at this. Stunning. It's hefty. It is not glass. It's made of plastic, but it feels really sturdy and well made. The pump works excellently. It doesn't get messy at all. I don't know. Just all of it feels like something like a royal person would have, right? This looks like a beautiful perfume jar. It feels luxurious to pump out. The formula itself, it's good. It's like a hydrating, medium to full coverage foundation. It has a bit of a moisturizing, luminous finish, but nothing too crazy dewy, but it's not like the best formula in the world by any means. This shade in particular is a little too light on me. I can see that it picks up dry patches a little bit because I do have some flakies. I don't know if you'll be able to see it in the camera. It's like pretty subtle. I'm not blown away by the formulation simply because I'm not really like a medium to full coverage sort of person, but this is quite fluid, quite nice to work with. However, the shade range is atrocious. I think this is one of the deepest colors, if not the deepest, and it's way too light for me. I feel like there are some foundation ranges here in the US where this would be like the lightest shade in the whole range. This is their Gorgeous Peach Blossom Silk Powder. Again, very beautiful packaging. It's got this like hollow detail on the front and this like soft matte plastic. nice sizable mirror, and this like super nice and luxurious puff. It's this nice finishing powder inside. It's super smooth and delicate. You can hardly see it. It's very much translucent. I don't know if you have a deep skin tone that maybe this would turn ashy on you. Like from first glance, it kind of looks like it's got a little bit of a sheen. Nothing metallic, nothing shimmery, just like a very soft glow. And I think on the face, it kind of has that. It's so ultra thin, and I think it's not something like, it's not a setting powder, it's a finishing powder, and when I swipe this over my skin, it'll take away any like excess shininess and leave me with just like a very velvety smooth surface. I don't think it like makes my makeup last, and it doesn't necessarily mattify, but it does smooth and blur everything together a little bit more. Super subtle. I think if you're someone who enjoys finishing powders, you would like this, but otherwise this is probably something you can skip on. This is $39, and overall I find this brand like pretty comparable in my head to like Hourglass, but with actually nice packaging. I think I only think that because like Hourglass is the only other face palette I have, which is the next product I'll be talking about, and the only like other brand that I know has a notable finishing powder in their lineup. So I think that's where the association ties in my head. But let's talk about this face palette. This is the Flowery Makeup Relief Palette, and this is actually only $50. I know $50 is not cheap, but you get a powder, a bronzer, a blush, a highlight, and the packaging, again, hefty, luxurious. This feels like some kind of like beautiful tray. The powders are like carved as beautiful paintings, and I've had this and I've used this a good amount, like, I don't know, well over 15 times. I quite like some of the things in here. And you can still kind of see the detailing. Yes, it goes away, but the product's nice. And again, it feels really fancy. Again, it's like it costs $50 for 4 things, but I can definitely see that like the effort was put into the packaging. My one big complaint is that these these pans are kind of small and narrow, so I can really only use like a small brush. I can't get a fluffy brush in there that well. It picks up okay, but overall, I feel a hint more limited. Not a huge deal, but I could see this being a pet peeve for others. Powder, it's just nothing crazy, nothing special. I don't even like it enough to like particularly reach for it over the other powders, and today I use this one instead just because like this finishing powder actually feels nice. So I could see this being something that helps to set. The bronzer, I really like the color of. It's this nice like cooler neutral bronzer color. You can definitely use it as a contouring shade. It feels pretty silky and thin and smooth, which is a running theme I've felt in all their powders. But I don't know, maybe the color isn't just right for me. I can sometimes feel it being a little bit patchy. Maybe it's because I have to use like a smaller, slightly denser brush instead of something fluffy that I might usually go for. I'm not sure. I think the formula just isn't my favorite, which is surprising because the blush formula is super similar, maybe a little bit less like the bronzer one feels almost creamy, and the blush feels a hint more powdery. I really like the blush, excuse me. First of all, I think it's a beautiful like muted terracotta. It adds some warmth. It blends out beautifully. It's really easy to work with. I think it looks great on my complexion with a lot of looks. And yeah, it's just so lovely. And then the other standout in this quad for me is the highlighter. This is actually probably my favorite powder highlighter, and it looks beautiful in the pan. It looks really shiny and like a little bit intense when you first pick it up, but again, these powders are really thin, and it blends out really nicely into this beautiful sheen. I'm wearing all of these on my face today, and you know, I think my complexion looks not bad. Oh, I am also wearing the Florasis foundation, but I mixed it with a couple things a little darker to help match it to my face a little bit better. But yeah, these are all the products that I'm wearing today on my face. Okay, and then moving on, this is the Floral Eyebrow Define Powder Pencil. Whatever. I see on their website that their Impressions of a Dye version retails for $19, and I think like Impressions of a Dye is their line of like similar products, but with like extra nice packaging. For example, like I'm pretty sure this bottle is their Impressions of a Dye. It's just like the extra packaging, whereas this is like still very beautiful. In any case, I don't know, it just feels really sturdy. It's got a nice spoolie. It's like sleek, it looks really pretty, it's nice to hold and use. The formula itself is a hint soft for me, but it's got like a really thin taper to it on the end, so you can create really nice hair-like strokes. So I've been reaching for this pretty much daily, but I also don't have that many eyebrow pencils, so I don't particularly think this product is like exceptionally worth it, but at the same time it's not outrageously priced because it actually comes with a second refill. So I'm pretty sure if you get like not the Impressions of the Dye version, it'll be a little cheaper, but even if it was $19, you get essentially 2 in 1. So then it's kind of like $10 for one of these, and then that basically becomes drugstore pricing, and it's like a nice eyebrow pencil. Here is the liquid eyeliner, and I have the one in black. I see on their page that they have 2. There's one that's $19, which I believe is this one, and I think another one that's got a smaller brush tip that's $15. This one just looks like your very standard size, like normal, basically looks like the Kat Von D brush pen eyeliner. And this is actually my favorite liquid eyeliner that I've been using lately. The bristles on the brush are quite firm and not floppy, so they are really controlled to work with. The formula of the liquid inside is really black, and like it doesn't dispense itself at too rapid of a rate. You know, it's got like enough viscosity that it's just very precise to work with, and you have a lot of control over the formula. It stays in place well, it doesn't really bleed on me. And yeah, if I have a day where I really want my eyeliner to be on point, this is the one that I reach for. And I think at $19, that's like the same price as pretty much most eyeliners you can get at Sephora. I could see myself buying this one again. It's like my favorite liquid eyeliner, which is pretty impressive, honestly. I don't have this now with me because I decluttered it. This is one of my least favorite products that I would recommend staying away from, is the Blooming Rouge Long Lasting Liquid Lipstick. It comes in an array of very pretty colors, and it has that like soft matte velvety lip formula similar to what you would get from like a 3CE liquid lipstick. It's super blurring on the lips. It's that like dry powdery matte. It's good for creating, like if you want to kind of dab it and then use a finger to smudge out the formula, that kind of blurry look. However, the doe foot was extremely fuzzy. Like, you know how there's like little hairs on the doe foot to help grab the product? It had the most like randomly long hairs, and that made it very hard to apply the product precisely. Like if I wanted a sharp lip line, I couldn't get that from just the doe foot applicator, which I thought was kind of odd. And it's $30 for this their pricing is so strange. It's $30 for this liquid lipstick, and like the packaging is not particularly ornate or anything. It feels nice, but it's nothing special. I wouldn't recommend this at all. It's kind of expensive for what it is, and I think the doe foot makes it especially hard to work with. And then finally, I have one of their signature items, which is their lipstick, and I have the shade M3334. It's got this ridiculous packaging. I have no idea how to store this nicely. There's one end where you like press a button and it shoots out the other side, and then inside is just like a bullet, except it's carved in and it's stunning. Like again, it looks like a little painting on the outside. The formula itself is a really nice matte, thin, super thin formula. I think this color looks pretty really pretty. It's like a red that leans kind of blue, but the formula feels pretty comfortable. It doesn't really add any moisture, but it's not the most drying. So if you wear a lip balm before you put it on, I think you should be fine. It lasts well all day for me, you know, as well as any lipstick should. I think because the formula is so thin, it like doesn't really get in the way of anything. I'm a fan. The only thing is like I don't like how bulky this is. So overall, the products that I think are like somewhat worth it are the eyeliner and this palette. I would genuinely like buy and recommend for myself because I think they're pretty and perform well. The eyebrow pencil is like actually just very reasonably priced. It's nothing crazy though. Like it's not an exciting product. If you like finishing powders, I think that this finishing powder is quite pretty. This lipstick, they have a version that doesn't come in this packaging that I think is like $30, and then that's, while a lot for a lipstick, that's like not a crazy price, you know. I would only get this if I was gifting it to someone and wanted them to have something that feels super special, or if you wanted a lipstick that feels super special, but like, I don't know, I hope you have a good like place you want to put it, because I reach for this less because it's not next to all of my other lipsticks. All in all, I think this brand is much more approachable than I thought. I initially just looked very briefly at like some of their offerings and how ornate they looked and figured out like that, oh, it's out of my price range, but it's actually not. It's like, you know, luxury Sephora end, and for the products that are actually good, it feels like pretty worth it because the packaging you get is so ornate, and it doesn't necessarily feel more luxury than like a brand name that you already have that association with, but because they're so shiny and unique and artistic, it's like special and holds its own value in its own way as well. So let me know if you've tried anything, if you have any favorites. I'm very interested in trying more of their blushes and highlighters because those have been some of my favorites. So if I run out of this eyeliner and feel so inclined to purchase another eyeliner from them one day, I'll probably pick up more stuff. Yeah, I hope this was helpful, and thanks for watching.